Welcome back to Extra Shot, the podcast spilling the funniest stories in sport this week. On the pod today, Luke Littler fails his driving test, star signings sacked for shoplifting, and Kevin Pietersen's hotel humiliation. I'm Zach. JP Lockwood is in the house with me.
Hello, mate. You all right?
I'm good. It's just the two of us today.
I've got a lot of room on the sofa today, mate.
Yeah,
I might have a lie down.
Jack's off on holiday again.
Yeah,
so it's just the two of us. We're back in the cozy confines of the studio after our fishing trip last week.
Yeah, I'm a bit like I just wish we were back on the riverbank.
It was a fun trip.
It was. Those fish didn't know what hit them today.
Those fish, God. Unfortunately, the fish is still having a good time in the river because it was an unsuccessful trip. Even after the camera stopped rolling,
we had two bites.
Did not improve. We had two possible nibbles,
but it was the current.
It might have just been the rod getting stuck on a bit of weeds. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back for those fish. They're not going to know what hit us. We also had quite a funny evening after the recording. We kayaked across. Oh, I say kayaked. We had one kayak and one dinghy that was listing water, and we tried to make. Well, we did make it across the river to the pub.
Let's just get this right. Me and George rowed you across while you sat in the boat.
We tried to sail the dinghy, but it was going around in circles. So they had to drag us across the Thames in a kayak, and then back again at about 11 o'clock at night. And Zach
had a very Ernest Shackleton fishing jumper on for his voyage.
Yeah. Because like we were going back after dark. George was very concerned that we were going to disturb the people that live by the river, so we were going across the Thames in a dinghy like the Viet Cong in the dead of night. But we made it.
We did, mate. We did. And a particular highlight was waking up in the morning and seeing your tent covered in bird shit.
Yeah, man. I don't know what these birds were thinking, because your tent was right beside mine and it was clean as anything, and mine was literally coated in bird shit.
Yeah. I
had to scrub it all off.
Particular highlight of that trip.
Yeah. I was looking out for UFOs when we were on the boat coming back. It was a nice clear night. I think it was because, we did a story a couple of weeks ago about João Felix's girlfriend who'd recorded a video of a UFO, considered one of the greatest examples of UFO sighting. And did you see he signed for Al Nassr?
I did.
Last week.
Unbelievably, he's gone to yet another club at the age of 25.
Yeah. I'm not entirely convinced that he didn't think he was joining NASA. Just wanted to have a proper look around Area 51, really.
Yeah. I mean, he's on, 400 grand a week, so I'm sure he can afford his own flight up to space if he really fancies it.
Elon Musk rocket.
Yeah.
I'm imagining him rocking up at his first day at Al Nassr and being like, so can you just, I was just wondering, where are the rockets kept? Is this the
where's
suit?
the launch pad?
Yeah, where's the suit? This is not the normal one.
Linking up with his friend El Ronaldo, isn't he? So
yeah, true.
Be having
yeah,
a lovely time over there, I guess.
Yeah, it's a strange career. Anyway, it was a good week for Indian cricket fans. They got a very dramatic draw in the Test series against England. We're going to talk about it a bit more later, but for India's long-suffering football fans, they haven't had a lot to cheer about in recent years, and they were on the hunt for a new manager recently. So Manolo Marquez, this Spanish guy, resigned last month, and the Indian FA, they decided to just stick the application form up publicly online. Just put it on Indeed.com. We were briefly thinking about throwing our hat into the ring for
doing the dream team duo manager,
sort of Eddie Howe, Jason Tindall, us two. You got a bit of Jason Tindall about you, actually.
I was thinking more like Alex Ferguson, Steve McLaren type vibes.
You could be Mike Phelan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do it in the end.
No, it just
unfortunately.
Closed. I mean, how budget just sticking it up online?
Yeah, I would have thought that there is like some sort of special platform for like managerial appointments. Like, do most clubs do that?
I don't know. Like, surely there's like agents that go around sort of searching for the next managerial appointment rather than using fucking Indeed.com.
Yeah, do you think they're just like DMing people on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Brentford are really bad for it as well. Look, you've got here
What, LinkedIn?
Yeah, assistant first team coach is one. There are loads from Brentford, set piece coaches, stuff like that.
Is this because they ended up hiring their goalkeeping coach as the new manager?
Probably more
right?
affordable.
Yeah.
That is so budget. And I read the job application online, and it's like, must be a team player. I'm like, what is this? Like a fucking post-grad application for a marketing manager role.
They're just at Loughborough Uni jobs fair. Just looking for a new head coach for the Indian national team. Anyway, they stuck it up online, but there was a bit of an air of resignation in the FA headquarters as the deadline approached, and the applications hadn't exactly been rolling in, and they were left mulling over the CVs of ex-Blackburn boss Steve Keane and Harry Kewell, the former Liverpool midfielder. That was until an application popped up in their inbox from none other than former Barcelona gaffer Javi.
Surely suspicions must have been roused as Javi.
Well, you'd think so, but they seem to fall for it. You can imagine this like wave of excited whispers going through the Indian FA office, and the FA's director Subrata Paul excitedly got in touch with the Times of India and briefed them about this new applicant for the job. The Times of India then put out an article heralding his application as a sign of the growing international appeal of Indian football. So back at the office, the staff started fantasizing about what sort of possession-based philosophy Javi would implement for the team.
Tiki-taka.
Yeah, what long-guarded secrets of La Masia would he reveal to them? And then somebody at the FA twigged that all might not be quite as it seemed. So they realised that the email application had come in from the contact javiofficialfcb at gmail.com. And yeah, turned out it was a hoax from a 19-year-old uni student.
Massive props to that student.
It's good. Apparently, they also got an application in from Pep Guardiola.
Pep at yahoo.co.uk.
At AOL. At Hotmail. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Javi is just on the very cusp of what might be possible. I mean, it's not likely, but you know, he did well at Barcelona. He won La Liga, but he didn't set the world alight. He's been out of work for a little while, so
you could believe
maybe.
that. Yeah, but not Pep.
Surely, when Pep Guardiola's CV drops into your inbox, then you're starting to have a few doubts.
The party starts when Pep drops into your inbox. I'd love to see the application to see how the kid's done it. I can imagine him just running it through ChatGPT or something like.
Yeah.
Apply for the India job, please. Yeah,
it's a fun prank. I used to always on transfer deadline day. Try and prank the BBC Sport website.
How much time do you have?
This is what I was like. I didn't have that many mates, all right. No, I did. But
how did you do it?
It was summer holidays. I just emailing, and like they had like a
just some holidays
I was
emailing.
About 12. I'd always send them in rumors, like fake rumors, being like, "Oh my cousin who works near Fulham's training ground just spotted David Trezeguet like coming in." And I'm trying to remember who else.
Did you ever get any response?
Nah, I never got on, sadly. But it was fun.
This guy's
maybe I'll do it again this deadline day. Actually,
this student is a younger version of you. Who's been applying for the India job.
Yeah. India have now appointed a guy called Khalid Jamil, who I'm sure he's a lovely bloke and an excellent manager as well, but it's a slight step down from Pep or Javi, really.
We wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of suspicious applications and strange goings on in football, it reminded me of a story a few years ago from Bahrain. So back in 2010, Bahrain were arranged to play a friendly with a team that they thought were the Togo international team.
Yeah.
So everything gets arranged, and there's an agent that puts it all together, and Togo Togo fly over to Bahrain and play the match. Bahrain go on to win 3-0. And as you would, you announce it on your website, you send the result into FIFA.
Humble the proud nation of Togo.
The Bahrain are obviously over the moon that they've managed to beat Togo. A couple of days later, the Togo FA come out and say, "We're really sorry, but we've never played you in this friendly." And we didn't know anything about sending a team over there. In fact, all of our team were either in Togo or the domestic clubs.
Yeah.
So it turns out that Togo's former manager had arranged this match. They brought a load of random players over from Togo with all the kits, etc. And that he's gone on to play this match, lose 3-0. And to make matters worse, he ended up getting, he actually done the exact same thing with the Egyptian national team 2 months earlier.
Or was he, he's just got some like troop of mates probably.
I've just got this vision of him being on like Footy Addict on his phone, just looking around for players in Togo and then flying them over. Yeah. So it's a really strange one, and you can imagine the Bahrain national team like sort of thinking they're in some sort of strange episode of Black Mirror at this point. You know, like who the fuck have we played? Anyway, the Togo national manager ends up getting banned for 2 years. And there doesn't look like there's much of a motive online. I've got this impression in my I've got this image in my head of him being like held up at gunpoint by some sort of like naughty chairman, or maybe he's got maybe it's just some sort of huge match fixing scandal.
Yeah. So he was like former manager. So do you think he's just like he was struggling to deal with? It's sort of like when people struggle to go through a breakup.
Yeah.
They're trying to, maybe like trying to go on dates with someone who looks a bit like their ex. Yeah. he's just got a load of kits left over from his last trip.
In my mind, he's got either like some sort of fetish for like weird international football matches that he likes to organise and like try and get away with. But the fact he's done it twice,
it's actually pretty impressive to outfox like 2 national federations.
Yeah, it's mental. And also just Egypt are like a fairly well established international side.
I wonder whether he had some kind of like insider at the Togo FA that he was still in contact with, who was giving them like the official stamp or something.
Yeah, because they said that they had all of the they had all the team sheet, and then all of the players got changed like 15 minutes before, but it was too late to like properly check it all over. But still, like, such a random fucking...
Yeah. It does make you realise sometimes how actually budget, like the behind the scenes bit of football is. Like, you sort of imagine it to be this like super slick professional operation, and it is just run by idiots sometimes. Like, I remember a few years ago, there was a story about Jose Enrique, who's a football agent now. He used to play for Liverpool and Newcastle. Now an agent, and he represents Todd Cantwell. He was playing for Norwich.
Norwich.
And he was basically going around trying to flog Todd Cantwell to clubs on Instagram. But he'd gone to there was some like fan account for Lecce, the Italian team, and they just got a DM from Jose Enrique being like, "You interested in Todd Cantwell?
Here's a payment link."
Yeah. So he sent like his transfer mark link with like his stats.
By a stripe.
Is that really like, if I'm a professional footballer, I'm hiring my agent, I want a bit more than them just like going around DMing clubs on Insta.
Like tailored outreach to like pinnacle of like football directors and CEOs, not like DMs to the club.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is if you look at this message as well, like the fact that none of it's in caps, it looks like one of those sort of Nigerian Prince scam messages. Like, hello, Luca. Or lowercase.
Yeah.
Please pay ASAP.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... God.
Mental.
Makes you realise the lack of professionalism actually behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think because we see like the shiny Premier League and everything's like, well, not even above board, but there's so much money flying around. I guess like all the lower league, international fixtures, obviously. Can't quite get it right.
Yeah.
So with the transfer window rolling on and a few ongoing sagas, on everyone's lips, will Isak end up at Liverpool? Is Sesko going to end up on Tyneside with Newcastle? I saw him doing some headers on Sky Sports News the other day, looking very fit. Will Chelsea sign their 59th winger of the year?
Yeah, I saw a stat that I think it's the Ajax defender, Hato, is it his name? He was the 50th player Chelsea have bought in the past 4 years. And Liverpool's like 50th last player was in 2014.
All clubs have their different strategies, Zach.
They do.
All right.
And Chelsea's, to be honest, annoyingly, I reckon Chelsea are actually going to be quite good this year. But
that's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
That is what we like to hear. So outside these sagas that are happening in England, that is nothing compared to what is going on in the League of Ireland with Kerry FC at the moment. So they have got their business done nice and early, which is always a good strategy, and they've made a couple of marquee signings. So they signed Shane Marduza from Zimbabwe, who is an international defender who came through the ranks at Huddersfield. And they've also signed a PSG goalkeeper, you might remember him, Matthias Randrimami, who was on the bench for the Champions League semi-final against Man City a few years ago.
How could I forget? God, the way he warmed that bench. Haven't seen a bench that warm since. Yeah.
But look,
that seems like pretty good signings for Kerry FC, though.
Yeah, I mean,
the ex-PSG keeper.
You'd think that, getting the business done nice and early, a couple of decent players coming in, they're going to sort of challenge for the title and really make a push for it this year. After arriving, Shane told Kerry FC, look, I'm really looking forward to getting going. I've been settling nicely since I've arrived and I'm really enjoying it so far. So, it looks like things are going quite well. So when I imagine Shane sort of saying that he's settling in nicely to Kerry, I imagine him sipping a Guinness in the local pub. I can imagine him hiking the peaks of the Killarney National Park, or maybe he's checking out the local Kerry Bog Museum on a Sunday. What I didn't picture him was shoplifting from the local supermarket, filling his cupboards with cheese and onion potatoes. So, unbelievably, Shane and Matthias have been caught shoplifting from the local branch of the Supervalu in town. And I had a look at Supervalu online, and just to paint a picture, it's a bit like a local Iceland, which is not where you would expect.
Yeah, it's like the biggest supermarket chain in Ireland, I think, or one of the biggest ones.
You just wouldn't expect, sort of Irish Premier League players to be shopping there, but let alone shoplifting there. And apparently they both set off the scanner at the door and were found with a load of stuff this week.
And people are like, hold on a second, is that PSG sub goalkeeper? I knew I recognised you from somewhere. You can't go under the radar when you've sat on the bench for the Champions League semi-final.
To make matters worse, and this story does get worse, the company that runs the supermarket is one of Kerry's sponsors.
So
okay. That is like the definition of that is like the definition of shitting where you eat.
Yeah.
And to make matters even worse, Shane had only been with the club for 4 days. So
he probably literally just moved into his new place. He's got to stock the cupboards. And, I mean, things are getting expensive, cost of living.
Yeah, true.
When you've just joined a new club, moved to a new town, you've got to try and ingratiate yourselves with the local supporters, right? That is not going to go down well.
I've read that he got signed on the Monday, shoplifted on the Tuesday, got taken into the office on Wednesday and sacked on the Thursday. So
Craig David.
So they've both been released. Kerry are back in the market for a goalkeeper and a centre back, and they have released a statement saying, unfortunately, their values and principles didn't match the standards of our club.
Not exactly super values, are they?
No. It also reminded me of a story of David De Gea when he got caught shoplifting at Man United.
David De Gea did?
He did, yeah. He was walking around Tesco Extra. And to be honest, I think we're all guilty of this. He'd been doing his weekly shop and he'd gone over to the Krispy Kreme counter.
It's tempting, yeah.
And I don't know whether he got a box or just one, but he ended up gnawing the Krispy Kreme around the supermarket and ended up getting stung on the way out. And they took him to a CCTV room where he got dragged into their stop and search room.
Oh, in the little back room.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit humiliating.
I'm not sure what they're going to look for if he's eating it, but
yeah. What did so you just make you pay up?
yeah, or like maybe check you haven't plugged the donut or something, you know, like
What is it with goalkeepers and shoplifting?
they like catching shit.
Yeah, safe hands. Yeah. Actually, I was reading the comments about that Kerry FC shoplifting story, and there was a big debate on the local Facebook pages about it. Some people were commenting saying that it shows that League of Ireland players should be paid more, which may well be the case, but still don't. There's no need to shoplift. But people were having this conversation about Irish clubs being a bit tight, and someone posted a story about this Scottish goalkeeper Jordan Moore, who after signing for Limerick got put up in a haunted convent. So this is back in 2016. He joined from Dundee United, and he wasn't earning that much money, sort of a young player, and couldn't really afford to get his own room in the town. So the club offered him his place in what he thought was going to be like digs. But he recalled it. He said, "I stayed in an old convent. The front garden was a graveyard. A nun had committed suicide in my room, and her gravestone in the garden was overturned. One of the things written on it was room 106, and that was the room I was in. I heard stuff all the time. There was the sound of scraping on the walls inside the room every night. I remember there was one room that was locked. This guy would go in and look like a different person when he came out. He was definitely on something." Sounds like he's living in some sort of haunted crack den.
We've been talking about going to do the pod somewhere haunted. Maybe we take a trip.
That is a good idea. We've got a Halloween special in the works where we're going to go and stay somewhere haunted. That, to be honest, that sounds too scary.
Yeah. I mean, famously, I am in touch quite closely with paranormal activity.
Are you?
Well, that's why I'm like very against going up to anywhere too haunted.
What are you? Have you had experiences?
If I walk into a room and I can just feel it, people are going to think I'm gaga. But
what? Could you give me an example?
There was a room in my old nan's house, and I used to absolutely fucking hate going in there.
Yeah.
And my auntie said that when she bought the house and she was living with my nan, then they bought the house. The guy previously had died in it, and I was only like room. 6 or 7 at the time.
But you didn't know it at the time.
I didn't know it at the time.
Okay,
just stuff like that.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
I can tell sketchy shit.
Yeah.
There is some activity in this room right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine if my head just starts going 360.
In this room. So you have seen a ghost.
I haven't actually seen
It's
one.
unfortunate you don't have the same sort of sixth sense for fish.
Yeah. If I come off the Christmas special, if I come off the Halloween special and I've been, what's the word? If I've been taken over by a ghost, then you will be extremely sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I quite want to do it as sort of like Most Haunted style. We want to get like an infrared camera. Is it infrared? What's it called? Night vision. We want to get a night vision camera. So
as I say, we do it like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah,
running through the woods.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out where this haunted convent is.
Yeah.
But anyway, unsurprisingly, Jordan Moore, this keeper, sacked off Limerick and went back to Scotland. Couldn't deal with the ghosts.
Couldn't deal with the haunted crack house.
Exactly. Yeah, but perhaps Jordan wouldn't have been so bothered by all those pesky ghosts if he'd been able to stream all his favourite Scottish TV shows from back home. A couple of episodes of River City before bed, and those nuns wouldn't even touch the sides. But sadly, they were not available in his region, and so he had to put up with this suicidal nun scraping her fingernails down his bedroom walls. But what Jordan should have done is download NordVPN, which allows you to switch your location to wherever you want, and it means that you can stream all your favourite shows and content wherever you are. But they've been getting very popular lately. JP, you were saying you use your VPN almost every night.
I'm using it a lot.
Yeah. I think it's probably because the new football season is upon us.
Yes.
That must be why.
Yes.
And, you can use your VPN to stream all the sporting events that aren't available in your region, including all the 3 p.m. Premier League kickoffs that aren't shown here. And best of all, the good people at NordVPN are offering Upshot listeners an exclusive discount. So if you go to nordvpn.com/upshot, this link will give you 4 extra months on their 2-year plan. And there's also no risk at all because Nord have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So, you can try it out. And if it's not for you, then just get your money back.
I'm going to download it straight away.
You bet you will, yeah.
Bet you will. Something's just clicked.
And if you want to join JP in enjoying all the fruits of a VPN, then the link is in the podcast episode description box.
Get it out now.
There. So yeah, get that on your browser. There was an all-time classic in the cricket this week, England versus India. I actually got really into it. Kind of the first time that I've properly followed a cricket match. We had it on in the office. And,
I feel like Jack's finally getting into you with it,
yeah,
isn't he?
Annoyingly, it is.
I'm going to be the black swan here.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was very exciting, and it all came down to the final morning of play in the 5th test on Monday morning. England needed 35 runs to win the series. India needed 4 wickets to get a draw, and England eventually were left with only the injured Chris Wokes to bat. He came out with his arm in a sling, got injured on one of the earlier days. It was heroic stuff, and they got really close. They ended up losing by 6 runs and drawing the series 2-2. But it was one of the great test match series.
Sounds it. Wow.
One of the best I've ever seen.
In my top 2.
It was in my top match I've ever watched. No, but I gather it was an all-time classic.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. But the entertainment out on the pitch wasn't quite enough for these 2 blokes. So we've got a clip here of these 2 fans, filmed from above, scrolling through an escort site on their phone as the day's play was concluding.
I love how they've like double teamed it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think? I don't know. Is it sort of like if you're on Hinge or Tinder or something, and you're showing your mates?
I think that. Oh, he's just actually grabbed his cock.
Oh dear.
I reckon they both got a bit of full beer horn, and they're like, right, before this absolute El Clasico finishes, we need to pick up.
Yeah. It was actually from an earlier test. It happened at Lord's earlier in the series, but clearly they hadn't been fully satisfied by the action they'd seen at the crease.
Sometimes you need a little bit more, Zach.
Yeah. One man who was noticeably absent from the TV coverage of this series was Kevin Pietersen. He's normally a bit of a fixture of the punditry, apparently. Although I wouldn't have been too surprised to spot KP swanning around the Oval Pavilion on Monday, dressed in his full cricket whites. Because we did our pod about KP, it came out last week, 2-parter, and after that we received this story from a guy called John, aka @SealClubber on YouTube. So he said, I worked in the hotel where Kevin stayed when the 2008 Champions League was on. Champions League final, this is. KP wore a full Chelsea kit with shorts and socks, the full fucking kit like he's John Terry in Munich, just to watch the match at the hotel bar. On the back of his shirt, it had KP1.
What a fucking legend.
You can't be doing that. If you're
a legend.
If you're over the age of 10, that is criminal to be in a hotel bar or any bar.
Mate, I still go to fucking Chelsea matches with my boots on.
With your boots? Oh, mate, come on. I don't know. I don't. I think shirt fine. Shirt fine. I mean, full kit in a bar.
Even football shirts can be a bit naff at football. But
do you think?
I kind of really rate that commitment.
I don't think so with football shirts. I saw Rory Jennings.
I did see that as well.
His big rant about football shirts. I disagree, to be honest.
I think like for me, like if it's like a classic one. Like the newest one that comes out, I know we were just talking about how nice
you've just been saying about what kit you want to get.
I know, yeah. But like, I probably wouldn't wear it out.
yeah.
If it was like a classic one, like an old England shirt at an England match, I'd get that. But like, if you're out with your missus on a Sunday and you're wearing like, I don't know, Middlesbrough's away kit from '94 or something,
you don't think it's nice. But I think I don't know. It's quite fashionable now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a real old man.
Yeah.
Quite fashionable.
The kids are wearing them, aren't they?
All the kids are wearing these football shirts. Yeah. Anyway, I think KP in his full kit with shorts and socks.
I fully rate his commitment.
Apparently, it was a very good sight seeing him trudging back to his room after their last day.
Socks
very
rolled
forlorn
down.
in his full kit. It was actually, I mean, John Terry didn't do it till 2012, so he was sort of ahead of his time, really.
True.
Anyway, moving on. I always felt like being a referee must be a pretty thankless task. You know, you spend your Saturdays having Sean Dyche lacerate your eardrums while horrible drunk blokes chant wanker at you from the stands. But it turns out there are a few behind the scenes perks. So Mark Clattenburg, the former Prem referee, was on Under the Cosh podcast last week, and he was chatting about being showered with gifts by clubs in a way to sort of try and get favourable decisions. So he said, I remember Barcelona, for example, after the match in your dressing room, there was always a little tablet waiting for you, some shirts and little things. Bayern Munich would give you a Mont Blanc pen and bits of goodies.
Is this legal?
So apparently, referees are allowed to accept gifts if they're under a certain value. So the clubs will just give them all these like nice little trinkets, nice fountain pen, because obviously like they're not allowed to pay you because that would be bribing. But this was sort of their way of gently trying to curry a bit of favour with you. So apparently Real Madrid would always put you up in the plushest hotel suite you can imagine. And it even went as far as him being offered escorts after a match. So he said, I had a situation in Azerbaijan where they offered me a female after the match, which he politely turned down.
Sure he did. From a Mont Blanc pen to what looks like an escort is quite a big jump.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes me think that some of the refs have said yes. This is just a sort of a feature of the hospitality there.
But surely you just have to say they can't receive any gifts because it's going to create bias, isn't it?
I assumed that was the case.
Like,
it's quite a mad glimpse behind the scenes, actually.
Yeah, like you're going to want to ref Real Madrid if they put you in the best hotel in Madrid.
Yeah.
Like, naturally.
If Bayern Munich give you a Mont Blanc fountain pen, then obviously you're going to
want one for Christmas.
Obviously, Bastian Schweinsteiger doesn't deserve a yellow card. Yeah, I don't know. It was quite
really unusual for him to come out and say that.
I wonder what the limit is on those kind of gifts.
Yeah,
like box of chocolates, because it's quite like, I mean, we've talked about before about the old FIFA corruption, basically.
Yeah,
where the delegates had come down and there was like a designer handbag, or like jewelry and escorts as well. To be honest, but. Where do they draw the line with refs?
I reckon there's probably like some sort of like bracket where they can like put the plush hotel into like accommodation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know where they put the escort into that. I don't know how you cover up the fact that it's an escort, but clearly Ben.
Personal assistant.
Fucking mental.
But yeah, anyway, it's a far cry from what Mark Clattenburg has had to put up with since retiring as a ref. So in 2023, he took up this role as the head of the referees committee with the Egyptian FA. And his job there was basically overseeing refereeing standards, trying to bring them up a bit. But it looked like a pretty plum job for him. He's out of the firing line. And as he set off for Cairo, he was hoping to top up his tan, sample the local shawarma. But Mark's relaxing move upstairs went down the pan when Mortada Mansour, who's the president of the Egyptian giant Zamalek, and all-round nutcase, really, accused him of taking bribes and secretly cheating on his wife with a man.
Fucking hell.
Which I should say is completely unfounded and untrue. But this accusation led to a wave of death threats from Egyptian fans, and Clatters ended up having to flee the country.
Jesus. Where did the sort of like hate come from this guy?
I think we're going to do an episode about him at some point, but he is a complete nut job.
Really?
Yeah, he's a bit of an all-round nutcase. I think he's sort of one of these chairmen who intimidates referees and is a bit of a mad businessman. But yeah, Clattenburg ended up being forced out of the country.
Jesus. Isn't he like refereeing some sort of like Saturday night TV now, like Gladiators?
He's doing Gladiators, yeah, because he had that stint at Nottingham Forest as well.
Yeah, what a career.
Yeah, I think that is what he should be doing. I think probably his experience in Egypt, being like chased out of the country after enduring homophobic slurs and being like hunted down. It's like, yeah, you know what? I'll just take Saturday night on BBC One.
Yeah, I mean, when you retire from refereeing, you don't really think that you're going to end up in Gladiators on a Saturday night, do you? But
it's a pretty good gig, I think.
Yeah, life works in mysterious ways. So my shoe-in for Sports Personality of the Year this year, Luke Littler, has had a very busy week. And lest we forget, Luke has achieved things in life that most of us can only dream of. He's won the World Championship of Darts. He signed major sponsorship deals with McDonald's, Boohoo Man and Sidemen. But it's quite nice to every now and again be reminded that he does face the challenges of a normal 18-year-old. So in case you didn't know, Luke is currently learning to drive. And we're really sorry to report this week that he has failed his theory test for the 5th time.
The 5th time? Oh, Luke.
So he got 44 out of 75 on his hazard perception, which we should say is actually a pass. So he passed.
The hazard perception is actually quite hard.
It is.
And
he tried his best and he got there, but he only got 41 out of 50 on his multiple choice.
Oh, Lou, poor guy.
And he needed 43.
Oh,
so
that's tough.
Yeah, he's actually 4 points less than he got on the previous test.
Got 4 points less. Oh, Luke, is he not? Surely you can't go down.
Yeah.
Surely if you fail, you can fail the first one. So wait, so last time he must have passed the
I think it's
multiple
switched.
choice, and then now he's failed the hazard perception. You'd think hazard perception as a darts player, I guess you don't really have to. It's not about quick reactions. It's more about like precision.
Precision, yeah, knowing where the dangers are.
Yeah.
But
Luke, just get yourself a book.
I think he's jumping back in the saddle and rebooking the theory ASAP.
So this was test number 5. To be fair, he's pretty busy on his darts tour.
I'd imagine so. But I also read that he's worth nearly £2 million now, and his dream car is a Mercedes A-Class. And I was just like, surely if you're worth that kind of money, maybe get a.
I was reading that before he really wanted full focus before, and then he did an interview where he's like, "Look, I've moved up in the world now, so."
I can imagine him having like a souped-up Ford Focus with a couple of subwoofers, Xbox in the front bit, which like drops down.
Picking up his friends from school.
Yeah.
The like spinning hubcaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should give a quick shout out to my Mrs. Jade, who passed her driving test this week.
Oh, she passed.
She passed, mate, and over 300 hours of lessons.
300 hours.
Right.
How long has she been learning? Did she do a Luke?
It's been a 20 year.
Number 5?
It's a 20 year.
20 years
20
she's been
year
learning.
stint, yeah.
She's been learning for 20 years, non-stop.
Yeah. There was a great sense of relief around the Lockwood household this week. Just because she managed to get there in the end.
That's great. I think she should maybe give Luke a call for a pep talk.
Yeah.
Luke, there's we've all been there.
But I think everyone is relieved, other than Ron, her driving instructor, who is somewhat poorer now. She's lost Jade as a client.
She's been paying off his mortgage for the last 20 years.
Ron is literally sitting at the driving examination centre licking his lips every time Jade gets out.
Has she been with Ron since the start?
I think it's been quite a long stint.
Is Ron a good driving instructor?
Well, that's the other thing I questioned, right? She's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to go, after she passed, she was like, oh, by the way, I'm going to go back out with Ron in a couple of weeks to take motorway lessons. I was like, you aren't going to see fucking Ron again, all right? Ron's gone.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get in the motorway with Ron or Jade, to be honest.
I think we're done. But yeah, I'll get Jade.
Oh, that's great news.
I'll get
Has she got any trips planned?
No, well, I mean, she's we still need to get a car actually, but we'll be out on the road in no time at all.
Because with people that fail their test that many times, is there a point where you're like, I don't think driving's for you?
I think this was it for her. If she didn't do it this time, she said it should be done.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been like 20 years.
Because I do get that, like, tests, you can get unlucky, you know, car pulls out, whatever, it's not your fault when you fail. But if you failed that many times and then pass, then is there just been like a sort of anomaly in terms of having a really clean drive?
Yeah, I think you've just got to just live with it. You're not gonna get there.
Yeah.
That's not the same for you though, Luke.
No,
I believe you.
Well, yeah, once he gets past the theory, then he can finally get behind the wheel.
Chill begging it for the rest of his life.
All right, finally, I've got a story for us from the US of A.
Our favourite.
And it's a scene as American as Mama's apple pie. So picture the scene. It's a Thursday night Little League baseball game on a warm summer's evening. We're in Silver Spring, Maryland. Parents have bought their pretzels. They've taken their seats, ready to belt out Star Spangled Banner. And then one of the kids smashes one of his practice shots over the fence of the field and into the car park of the fire station next door. And unfortunately for him, his ball goes straight through the window of the chief firefighter's brand new pickup truck. And the firefighter reacts as any sane officer would and unfurls the hose from his truck and floods the baseball pitch. So we've got a video of it here. Everyone's just sort of standing around. It looks like it's on fire. Like he's literally just rolled out the hose and is just spraying it directly onto their baseball pitch. And
he must have really liked that truck.
Yeah, I mean it's annoying, but don't park your truck next to a baseball field if you're precious. About it. Or generally just don't park there. I think. Surely that's like an occupational hazard. Really,
yeah. Also, if it was like a kid, I'd understand a bit more if it was like an adult's game, you know, like they're playing like, you know, like really seriously. But if it's just a kid.
Yeah. It's
not his fault he's hit a home run.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. It's not what you'd
not what you need
expect from one of your officers.
Not a Little League.
Yeah. The game ended up having to be cancelled because of it. And apparently like they put out a statement being like the referees, the umpires and the other team travelled from like the other side of the state to get they just arrived and it's just flooded from
adverse weather conditions.
Yeah. I was actually looking up nicknames for firefighters and apparently they're sometimes called nozzle jockeys.
Very true in that sense.
A nozzle jockey, that's great. Or hose jockeys as well. It's also used sometimes. Right, I think that's all we got time for today. We're going over to the Patreon now, where we had the Evil Knievel Part 1 episode came out this week. Pretty mad story. But Evil was far from the first to put his life on the line in the name of entertainment. And this Patreon episode is going into the history of daredevils. So we've got Chinese princes thrown off towers in flying suits, cats testing out parachutes, the story of the first human cannonball, some mad stories in there, very fun. So you can get that episode right now when you sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/Upshot Towers, all one word. It's just £3 a month. £3 a month is almost nothing. And you'll also get parts 2 and 3 of the Evil Knievel episode right now. So
get on down there, guys.
Get on it right now. That's all for us this week. Thanks a lot, JP.
It's been a pleasure, mate. As always, thank you very much.
And thanks for listening.